Welcome everyone to the Imagine Ohana team call for the day. Brooke and Emily are off gallivanting. No, they're actually like traveling to St. George, and they're getting ready to like be together for a whole week, doing momentum movement together and doing other fun stuff. So they asked me and some other leaders to lead the call today, which I'm excited to do. And sorry if I'm distracted, I'm trying to admit people too. But I am like super duper duper excited for November, you guys. Are you guys excited? I'm like in that space of like, holy crap, October was
But if you can
crazy.
turn here and go
And
in,
I need
that's
to
better than
like, you know, get my
flipping a
bearings.
U.
That's where I'm at. But November is
Does that
gonna
make
be
sense?
amazing. Sorry, trying to mute some people too. Okay. The host is no joke, y'all. Being the host is no joke. Okay, so we are going to start with Kara because we are going to do a recap of anyone who needs help with the goal setting. So we wanted you to go watch Brooke's mapping out call that she put on Momentum Movement and try to map yourself out. Sometimes that can be a little confusing, especially if you just started and you don't know what the heck a point is or a credit or any of that stuff. So Kara is going to explain it. Now just remember that like every level is going to look different, right? So, but it's like a general idea. And your leader can help you if you have any questions afterwards. So I'm going to make Kara the co-host for the host because I can't figure out co-host. But we're going to make her the host for a sec and then it'll be great. All right, Kara.
Awesome. Okay, so hopefully, oh, now I got to do the waiting room too, huh? Do you want me just to let them all in? They should have the code, right? Okay. Hopefully you had a chance to watch Brooke's mapping message that she put, or mapping video that she put in. Sorry, there's like somebody sending a message in the waiting room. I'm like, I don't know how to let it in. Okay, anyway, sorry. Hopefully you had a chance to watch Brooke's video and were able to kind of start your own map. But sometimes if you're not a numbers person, it can look a little overwhelming. And so I'm going to show you some numbers today, but I hope it will make it a little bit not so scary, because really you're just looking at where you were last month and projecting where you want to finish this month. So I'm going to share my screen. I made a little example map for you. I'm just going to use Jane. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because you can go back and watch Brooke's video and she did it so good, just piece by piece by piece, but just to kind of give you maybe a little bit of background of where she was getting some of those numbers. So we're just going to use Jane, fictional Jane. She wants to be Ruby. So basically what she wants to do is look at what that goal would mean to be Ruby, which is 500 points. And then she needs to look at where she was last month, how many points she had last month. Find that difference. You can just use good old subtraction, and then you'll see how many points you need for this month. Okay, so the tricky part is that you have some attrition. It's totally normal for us to have some attrition. People quit too soon. Maybe, you know, that you've had some that have been on them for a while that quit, whatever. You have some people that stop. And so if you have a lower number of attrition, 10% is a good rule of thumb. If you are new and still figuring out follow-up, or for whatever reason have a little bit higher attrition, you're going to use more like 20% or 30%. But 10 is a good place to start for and aim for, especially if you're new. If you're still silver, gold, working for gold and senior gold, then 10% is usually a pretty good number. So if you're expecting 10% to fall off, you're expecting to keep 90%, right? So if you look here on my little sheet, this is what I did. So your goal points for Jane. Oh, I made this be a PDF because I was going to be all cool. Oh, give me 2 seconds. I want to be able to write on this. Let me pull up the original.
And I just wanted to say really quick, like one person, like when you enroll one person, that's 5 points. So that's where points are coming from. And so like if you're going for gold, which is 100 points, and that's after senior silver, then that is like 20 people. So
Okay, so yeah, if you're brand new and you're like, what is a point? Then every order that processes is what we call pay points. And so if they're in your levels 1, 2, and 3, so there's somebody you enrolled, or they're 1 beneath you, 2 beneath you, those are your levels 1, 2, and 3, then they're 5 points. If you get into your levels 4, they're 4 points. Level 5 is 3 points. Level 6 is 2 points. And level 7 is 1 point. So when you're adding up your points, that's what we're adding up, is points per person, per order. All right, so let's just go back to here. We're saying Jane wants Ruby. Well, Ruby is 500 points, and I just picked that one because it's a little bit bigger. You may not be working for that yet. That's okay. So I'm going to put 500 in up here by her goal. Her goal is 500 points. Okay, let's say that last month she finished with 350 points. Actually, let's say 400 because the math's easy. Let's do 400 points. Okay, so what I wrote right here is that she needs to find her expected points. And so all you really need to do is just look at last month's points and times it by 0.9, because you are expecting to keep 90% of them, which is 0.9. So if you just do 400 times 0.9, you're going to realize that you're going to have 360. So her estimated points are 360. Okay, so 500 minus 360 is that she needs 140 points. Does that make sense?
We're not seeing any typing going on. I don't know if you're adding typing, but it's
What?
still blank.
Oh gosh, no, sorry. I didn't pick the right
It's
screen
okay.
because
Like,
I
you're
switched.
telling us with words.
Now I gotta
So.
start over.
Just letting you know.
You should have told me before. Sorry. Start over. This is awesome today.
We're doing
My day got all turned around.
No,
My
this
kid
is
broke
cool
a tooth,
because
so
this
my
is
husband
cool.
stayed home.
Here, let me just say one thing. Because honestly, you guys, when you have chaos, there's chaos in your life, right? And when you push through the chaos, that's when you find like the peace, because there's always going to be chaos. So we don't have to beat ourselves up for the chaos. We just keep going.
True. True. Okay, can you see my screen now? Okay. All right, so I'm just going to recap. So we said Jane wants to be Ruby. Well, Ruby is 500 points. Okay, so she's going to put that for her goal. Then she's going to do minus expected points. Well, expected points is just where she was last month times 0.9, because she is expecting to keep 0.9. All right, so just do 500 times 0.9. You can write it right here. Is going to equal 360. Okay, so now it's like a little math equation because I'm a math girl. It's really 500 minus 360 equals 140 points that she needs for this month. Does that make sense? Super easy. Okay, then if you want to just look at how many orders that is, then you can just do 140 divided by 5 if you're pretty new. Because remember, levels 1, 2, and 3 give you 5 points per order. If you have a builder and they're like your level 3 and they're enrolling a lot of levels 4, 5, 6, then you might want to move this number down to a 4, just so that you have a better number for how many orders you need. But if you aren't down in those levels yet, then use 5. Okay, so we're just going to say she's building in her 1, 2, and 3. And so we're going to do 140 divided by 5, which is what?
28.
28. Thank you. All the
think.
buttons are on. Okay. Huh?
I said I think.
28. Awesome. Okay, so 28 orders is what she needs to kind of aim for. And that's what Brooke then spent the rest of her video showing you how to get. Okay, so the rest of this sheet is just showing you how you can fill it in. So a couple of things that I like to put on my sheet, Brooke doesn't necessarily put them on there, but I like them, is that, and this got messed up because I'm not typing, but I like to have a white line list over here, or my every other month orders. You know, like the Joyome girls that order every other month. Well, I'm gonna get them to order this month. And so I put them in this list so I don't forget to account for them. Okay, so I have my white lines and my every other monthers that I start making a list for over here on the right so that I can reach out to them early in the month. Guys, it usually takes me the whole month to get a white line ready to order. Either they aren't on Messenger a lot, they're not seeing your posts, they need some convincing or connecting. It takes the whole month. Don't wait till like 2 days before when you're like, okay, let's look at my white lines. So put them on your map early and work with them all month long. Be relationship building with them all month long so that they want to get started with you again. So I put that on there. I always put my self goals on there, like Brooke said, and aim for 6 this month. Why not? Because there's $250 extra on the table. So put 6, aim for 6. Everybody can do 6. We can do 6. If I can do 6, you can do 6. All right. And then before I show you the builder stuff, I always put a +1 list on here too. So I just kind of showed it down here below. A +1 list. So I go through my team and I think, okay, Shelby doesn't really want to order, but she could probably get one. Maybe it's her husband, maybe it's her sister, maybe it's her mom. So I'm going to put Shelby down there. She's pretty open to maybe getting one. Same thing with Casey, Tina, Bob. I think I can help them to get one. All right. And I'm always going to them asking for a referral. It's not like work the business. They don't want to do that. They've already told me no. These are people that are like, I could probably get them a buddy. Let's get them a buddy. Okay. So I have a +1 list on there. And then you can start filling it in with your team. Who are your builders? Okay, well, builder number 1 here might be somebody that you think you can get 3 this month. Builder number 2, same, you think you can get them 3. So I'm mapping out 3 blank lines for them to write in the names as they enroll people. So these are blanks for people to fill in. Builder number 3, maybe not going as fast, but I think I can get them to get them the extra $50 gift card this month that Plexus is giving away. So I just start filling in names right here. So I just wanted to maybe lay it out like this. I hope that's helpful. Brooke did it so good in her video, but I just wanted to maybe give you a template here to start with these numbers if you weren't quite sure how she was getting them. Does that make sense? Any questions on that?
I love that, Kara. So good. Now, I meant to say this before, but this call is focusing on 3 things: clarity, excitement, and consistency. So Kara brought the clarity. Okay, like one of those 3 things is probably going to make you really uncomfortable. Either you're like not a numbers person and this was like foreign language to you and you're like, I do not understand what you just said. Or, you know, when someone talks about the energy, bringing in the energy to your team, like you're going to be like, oh gosh, I can't do that. Or, you know, the consistency, like one of those, or maybe all of them, are going to make you super uncomfortable. So just like breathe and like just, you know, bring in the love for yourself. And just remember that you can ask for help from your leaders. Okay. So I just had to say that. Okay. So next up is going to be Phyllis, who is going to talk about how to keep working, consistency, when it gets hard. Okay, because that is when we need to keep going. Honestly, that's when we need to keep going.
Hey, so yeah, so if every day was like a cakewalk, I mean, how awesome would that be? But is that reality? No, we just talked about life is chaotic, things happen or whatever, but how do we just keep going despite these roadblocks? And I love, like at one point we said that some of these roadblocks, when you start to see things as roadblocks, you can see them coming your way and you just wink at it like, oh, saw you coming. Yep. I have goals though. You're not going to get in my way. Like you just have to change your verbiage. So instead of like, oh, you know, life is chaotic today or whatever, you just say, oh my gosh, life is full and abundant. And wow, okay, I might have to restructure some things, but I have goals. I have things that that need to be accomplished. And by goodness gracious, I'm not letting anything stop me. Not Satan, not, you know, the kids, not, I shouldn't combine those 2 together, but sometimes you're like, okay, I have raised 3 boys. I know. So anyway, you just have to keep going. That's my big thing is don't stop. Just whatever you have to do, if it's personal development, get a book. Like my first book that I read when I started Plexus, and I needed that. Like my confidence has grown so much in the last 3.5 years, but it was what to say when you talk to yourself, because you'll recognize anything negative coming in that's getting ready to come out of your mouth. You want to stop it right there in its tracks because your brain's listening to that. Even if you think it, your brain's listening to that. And it's like neurologically, you're wiring your brain to believe it. And so if your life is chaotic every day and I just can't do this, that's what's going to happen. You're not going to be able to do it, right? So stop it. Stop it right now. You just need to start saying, I am a boss babe. Like I can handle anything coming my way, you know, put up your dukes. Like I'm ready for this battle, whatever that looks like. Cause my battle is not your battle, you know, and vice versa. But we all have them. There's not anybody here that would not raise their hand right now saying that there's not something stressing them right now. Okay. But what's cool is what sets us apart is how do we handle that coming in? So finding books, finding podcasts, like fill your life and brain with all that's good and positive. People in your life, like just get them out of the way. I'm serious. It's family. You got to just say bye. And yes, Kara, it is Shad Helmstetter. That's a great book. He even has a Facebook group. You can click on his Facebook group and he gives you like positive affirmations or positive things to say to replace some negative things that become your mantra. And you'll notice that you'll be like, "Ooh, there it is again. Oh, what can I say? I'm stuck. I don't know how to, you know, say the right way." Go find the tools. He's got free stuff online too. Okay, if you're feeling like everybody's quitting, I feel lonely, my motivation is down, open up your back office because there's people in there that are not quitting. There are people in there that love their products. There are people that are waiting for you to just reach out to them and say, "Hey, I see you. I remember you were working the business at one point. What's going on?" And so I just did that. I'm going to share a little end of the month story with you, end of the month miracle. I had been reaching out to this young girl who's very pregnant right now. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, she's really pregnant. She's been really quiet. I'm just going to kind of give her space. I was like, well, why wouldn't you just want to reach out to your friend and say hi? So I reached out and just started engaging her in conversation again. And before I knew it, she goes, "Hey, my cousin wants to sign up." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's great. Do you want to put her in a 3-way message with me?" And so, you know, it's like you just are like, I'm providing a service. Like, I'm here to help you. Oh my gosh, I know it's been a while since you've kind of been out of the loop. And she's like, "Yeah, I just really feel rusty." And so she had all these things that were holding her back. So I'm like, I got you, girl. Let's talk to your cousin. Well, I'm in California. So at 8:40, that's 20 minutes till midnight East Coast time. This girl gets on the phone with me and we enroll her. And she goes, "Hold on a second. I have 3 more people here in my kitchen that want to sign up." So just by talking to my little friend, Ashley, got her cousin, Deanna, who signed up the 3 ladies that were trick-or-treating that night in her kitchen. We got 4 people and she went fast start silver in less than an hour. So, you know, you just can't give up. Don't give up. You never know. There's this gold. Like I was like, oh my gosh. And then this girl, I was like, look at that power that girl had over that kitchen. She said, "No, you're signing up. You're signing up. You're signing up. Let's do this together." Okay, great. We're getting this discount. So anyway, so that was awesome. But that's just how you got to go. And your confidence needs to be high. So if you have an animal in your house and if you're not the alpha, what does that animal become? The alpha. The animal's telling you what to do. It's time for my dinner. It's time to go outside. It's time for this, right? And you're like, "Okay, I'll do whatever you say." You got to take the reins. And so it's just like that with your people. Like engage them. Let's like create gathering spots. We with Shayna, I know she's on here. We've come up with Wild West Wednesdays because she has this cute little saloon in her town in Joshua Tree. Hi, Shayna. And she just did hors d'oeuvres, little hors d'oeuvres, appetizers, and she had her team come. And then they met, and it's outdoors. So COVID, blah, 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 social distancing, all the things. Just make it work, guys. and then just show them how much you love them. It just created like team, like social interaction, which we're all starving for right now. And then just more, again, motivation. And so then you start loving what you're doing again. Your team gets fired up. So it's just looking for those little things. And then reactivating people. So Ashley was a reactivation of mine. Like I'd been working on her kind of throughout the month, paid off end of month, big time. 4 more enrollments after midnight. Like I was able to get them like pulled back to give us credit in the month because we were literally like tick, 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 trying to get them all in. So, you know, focusing on their health and wellness, like think about the reason why you started, think about the reason why you're sharing. Like my life changed because of this. Don't forget your story because that's what you need to be sharing. And then again, just reminding your team that too. And then just creating those space team calls, like invite them to everything we have going on. The team meeting today, the like any little product information call that your team's doing, invite everyone that's enrolled in the last 3 months to that. Like just like create the space to make magic happen. So I think I went over my.
Thank you, Phyllis. No, it's so great. And the consistency factor of like doing all those things every day, it's not going to look the same every day. Like, I feel like that's what she was saying. Like, you just do what comes and you just like, you pivot. And, you know, when you hit a wall of boredom, of ignoring, of whatever, you just like, that's when you get creative. Like I've been telling my kids, like, I'm so glad you're bored because that means you are going to get creative and finding something to do, you know? And we have to do that in our business. We totally do. So thank you, Phyllis. I love that. Next up is Barbie. She's going to tell us how to bring some energy to your team.
Aloha, everyone. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Barbie. And I love this part. I'm always happy to bring the energy, right? And so, but it's actually like perfect into what Phyllis was saying, because the number one thing that you can do to bring the energy is show up for your team, right? Like if you're not working, guess what? They're not working. And I've seen it happen several times. You can have all your up lines, right? And I can support Phyllis and I can support Shayna, but guess who wants the number one support? Your level ones, right? They have a bond with you. And although we're here as uplines to support them, they want to hear from you personally, right? So you showing up, creating those Zoom calls, those are so huge. Creating the power hours, like Phyllis and Shayna every single day have a power hour together. And whether people jump on or not, they are there working together, and just having it available is so important. I think, you know, like Kara was saying with mapping out, helping your people map it out, because guess what? Then they see the possibilities and it gets them excited. They're like I just did this with Shelly, right? She just ranked senior gold. And it was like, literally, Shelly, all you have to do is this. Shelly, reach out to these people. And because Shelly's busy working a full-time job, like trying to structure her whole community in her town. Like she's got a lot of things going on, right? And a lot of people do, but if you can just simplify it for them, it make it easy for them, it excites them, and the energy rises, right? And you're like, this is all you have to do. Brooke did that with me. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna win the shopping spree. I'm not sure. Like starting the beginning of the month, it looked like a big scary goal, but she's like, boom, boom, boom. Oh my gosh, yes, I can do this. And when you're thinking, right, I love the whole fact of like the vision boards. I've done a lot of lately, I feel like it's coming up in my life a lot of vision, right? Visualizing it, setting those big scary goals. If that goal doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. If you don't think it's going to be a challenge to accomplish it, it's not big enough. So visualize that, because without vision, not much happens, right? It's same thing with the goal setting, like visualize it. And it's so true. I have it actually up here. One of this on my vision board is where focus goes, energy flows, right? Like that's what you want. What are you focused on? Are you focused on the negative, the person that fell off, the person you thought was going to be a builder? And then like it's depressing when if you do that. Or you're like, yay, I just signed someone else up and I'm going to focus on them and help them. Like you just got to find that one person that's having the great results, that's doing this. That's what it's for. It's not to build, like it's nice to build a big team, right? Like that's great, but we're in this to help people. And then when you have that one person you helped, it doesn't matter how many others fell off, because we can only lead them to the drink, right? We can't make them drink it. We can't make them take their supplements. We can only educate and lead them there. So I think number one, show up for your team and help them map it out. Help them see how simple it is. And don't make excuses. Like Phyllis could have easily been like, oh, I don't want to bother them. I know they're having a Halloween party, right? But she didn't let that stop her. You got to just throw it out there, and you never know. Look at, they went silver that night, right? So, but you can, I think a lot of times we make those negative things in our head, or those excuses of, oh, they're busy, or they're doing this, or I know they're, it's their birthday weekend. Well, maybe this is the gift they need, right? So just don't make the excuses. Always focus on positive, get your vision in line. And basically, yeah, just the more Zoom calls you can do, that's the other thing I've noticed. Like it would be nice to get everybody together on one Zoom call, but a lot of times just having the individual team Zooms, it's more personalized. People feel more engaged. They open up more. So maybe instead of doing one Zoom a day, you're doing 4 Zooms a day with your 4 different leaders and their teams, right? So there's lots of good ideas that you can do, but the number one, show up.
Yes, thank you so much, Barbie. And I totally agree with individual Zooms. Like I've been doing tons of one-on-one Zooms with people, like prospects and leaders. And it's so beneficial because you are listening to them instead of talking. And that's what we need to be doing, is listening.
Hey, Leah,
yeah,
can I share something really quick?
of course.
Off script. I'm just sitting here like powering through today, really kind of making a plan for the month. And my suggestion to everyone, and you probably already know this, so it's totally fine if you don't, but I've done this with my team in the past. Like go through your back office, and like you said, anyone that has ever shared before, whether they're still taking their products or not, reach out to them. And the best thing that you can do is break it down and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know Christmas is coming up. We have this amazing promotion this month. If you add 3 people, you get X amount of dollars. Like break it down simple. 3 people equals this much money. That's all they need to know. That's all they need to care about. They don't need to know where it's coming, how it's coming, what they're getting. Like this is a welcome pack bonus. And this is just say 3 people equals this, 6 people equals this. How can I help you? Do you want to shoot for 3 or do you want to shoot for 6? Because you're going to get that money 2 weeks before Christmas. Like people need it. People want it, but they want it. And even just my favorite thing, ask my team, is FaceTiming them. Just FaceTime them really quick. Like we're lucky to live in an area where things are kind of somewhat back to normal here. Like we get to interact with people. We had Halloween, we get to do stuff, but not everyone's in that situation. So human interaction is huge. So just FaceTime them really quick. It takes just a few minutes, and then they can see your excitement and feel your excitement, and you can map it out with them and go from there. Because I guarantee you, everyone on our team knows 3 people they can sign up this month. It like you just do. And so giving them like 3 people equals this, let's do it. They're like, oh, okay. Oh my gosh, just super, super simple.
Yes, thank you, Kirsten. You got to keep it simple and keep it like high energy and just show them the money. Also, just the last thing before we're done, I wanted to share my screen real quick and show you what I've done with my team this past month to like energize them. I used to tell myself, hold on, it's taking a sec. I used to tell myself that oh, I don't want to overwhelm my team with too many incentives. Guess what? They like lots of incentives. It's okay. You can do lots of incentives. So this is what I did last month. So actually I did several incentives. This was what I did in at the second week of the month, when I was like, where did everybody go? like everyone's silent. So I did this. I did fall in love with your business and win some prizes. And they got entries. And this is action items. So these are the action items you need to be doing. And you can like bring this to your team and be excited. They got an entry if they did a Plexus post. They got an entry to the prize if they added a Plexus testimonial to their stories. Like these are simple action items, right? They got more entries for more things, you know? And then I increased it, like between this one and my other one, I did every Zoom that you do, you get like an entry. I can't remember what it was, like $5 or something. Like, and I asked my upline, do you want to split this with me? Like, you know what I mean? Like you got to get creative and do fun things that excite people and teach them at the same time how to do the business, right? So it's like a game, but teaching them how to do it. And then then I had prizes. And then I did another one. So this is more prizes. Like I spent a lot of money, but guess what? Like I made a lot of money too. And so you put in money, you make money. And then like, so that was the simple ones. Then I did another contest where they did bigger things to get entries. So like hopping on a Zoom with a prospect, that's a lot harder than posting, right? Message 10 people, enrolling a new level 1. Like these were more difficult action items. So it like pushed them towards the end of the month. And then at the end of the month, I also had a shout out challenge. So if they got anyone to shout them out, a new level 1, even a stranger, like if they got someone to shout them out, like I gave them $5 per shout out to Amazon. And that might be a little too much for some of you, but I have a big team, so I was able to do that. But even if you have a small team, like that, like if one person does a post and they get 3 people, like you're gonna make a lot more than $5. You know what I mean? So you just bring the excitement and you like bring the fun and you make it a game. Like seriously, you guys, I love games. So I'm all about games and like prizes. And so that's one thing I did. I did similar things the month before, and I'm going to do more things this month. I think I'm going to do one about retention. So just like where our weaknesses are as a team, that's where I'm going to like put the focus, you know? So that's how I'm bringing the energy on my team. Don't forget, Momentum Movement is at 2 Mountain, 3 Central, 4 Eastern. I don't know Hawaii time, but y'all know it because you're so smart. Pacific is what? 1? Yeah, 1. So make sure you are on the Momentum Movement call because it's going to be amazing. All right, you guys. So glad you came. Yeah.
I have a quick question, and I'm not sure how to ask it.
Okay, can we talk after the team call, Sharita? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
okay.
fine.
We'll talk. Okay, you guys have a good day. I want to make sure you have a little break before you, go to Momentum. All right, bye, guys.